The purpose of this video is to demonstrate how to create a gambrel truss. And so we're using our template here to go ahead and mark some pieces there from our 2x4 stock. And we're going to create the actual truss itself. So you'll need a few materials here and tools. You'll need a razor saw. You'll need a pair of scissors. You'll need a pencil. You'll need a saw block. You'll need some manila folder stock. You'll need some glue, okay? And then lastly, you'll need a piece of 2x4 scaled stock here. And so step one there is we're gonna place this 2x4 stock on the template here in the position we want it to be. And then I'm marking the angles here with a pencil using my template here as a guide. And I'm just placing my head over the top of this here and then marking the angles appropriately, okay? And this is telling me what kind of angle I need to cut and how long the piece needs to be. Now I'm taking the saw block here and I'm going ahead and lining up my angle cut here right with this groove right here. And this groove has been cut to the exact angle that we want for these particular pieces. And so I use that to help guide the saw as I'm cutting. And so all I have to do is just trim that off. You gotta hold it steady, and then you're not putting a lot of pressure on the saw. And you can see there, I've sawn through that piece. And you see now I need to go ahead and cut this side. So once again, I can go ahead and line up my mark appropriately with the saw guide. All right, so then we have that. That's my first piece. And you see I check it to see if it's appropriately cut, and it is. Now, the opposite side of this piece here, well, if I've cut this properly, this should complement each other. And so what I'm gonna do is just kind of line it up, and yeah, the angle looks pretty good there. And this is kind of an important technique here because it saves you one extra cut. So once again, I line it up with my template, and then I mark its length and the angle. And I use this here and line up one of my saw guide again. And then I just go ahead and saw this to the correct length. Okay. So now we have two pieces and they're ready to be joined. And so I double check to make sure they're in good condition. And they are. And so now I'm gonna go ahead and get some manila folder stock. I'm gonna put this off to the side for now. And what I'm doing here is I'm taking my manila folder stock and I'm going ahead and I'm gonna cut a strip of material off it here. It's about a 1/2 inch in width. So I'm just taking some scissors here, just trimming that off. And then I'm gonna square up one end. And then I'm gonna cut it about that one long right there. And what we're doing here is we're creating what I call a gusset plate. Now in real life, a gusset plate, what its purpose is to go ahead and reinforce a joint. So for instance, if I had some real 2x4s up here, I would take my gusset plate here and I'd fasten it to these two pieces with some wood screws. Now in our case, we're gonna be using glue, so our technique's gonna be a little different. So here's how I join these pieces. I go ahead and take the gusset plate and I take some glue and I'm gonna put a little dab of glue on there just like that. Now you don't wanna put a whole bunch of glue on there. And then another technique that I use here is I go ahead and instead of using the glue bottle all the time, what I'm going to do here is just take a piece of this manila folder stock and I'm just gonna trim off a square about like that, okay? Just a simple square. And now I'm gonna take this glue bottle and I'm just gonna put about that much glue on there. Because you know, really I don't need a lot of glue here, especially just for one period. And you can see it's a puddle about the size of my thumbnail. Okay, that's all I need for right now. Because you know, you can always put more glue in. It's just hard to put glue back in the bottle once it's out. So no need to waste the glue. Now I use this here to help me glue my pieces together. So what I'm going to do is I'm literally going to just dunk this in the glue here like that. So we got some glue on the end of that, just like that. And now I'm going to go ahead and fasten this to the other piece and then arrange it on the template here so it's in the correct position. So I'm pressing down on the joint here right above the gusset plate. And the gusset plate, you know, you got to be careful with the glue here. You really don't want to glue these pieces to your wax paper. I mean, the wax paper's purpose is to keep it from sticking to your template. And so we want to be careful with the glue here. We really don't want to get glue all over everything and have it all stuck together a mess. And so you see, I've just went ahead and put it in position like that. I'm going ahead and making some adjustments, and then I'm pressing down on it just a little bit, just to go ahead and bond the paper, the manila folder stock, to the underneath side of the truss. And so with just a few seconds there, you can see now this thing is stuck together. It can support its own weight, and I can kind of move it around a little bit and move it off the template, out of the templates, so I can go ahead and work on the other side. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make another piece over here. So I'm going to go ahead and start this here. I will fast forward this process here until we get ready to go ahead and join these two halves together. I'm going to make a half here, and I'm going to join those two halves together. So I'll go ahead and mark this and continue on, and we'll come back here and I'll join that last piece for you. Okay, well, we have two pieces here. We've got two halves of the same truss. And so now the last step here is to go ahead and kind of get this last joint tidied up here. And so just repeat the process. Go ahead and trim that to length. I'm gonna go ahead and take a little dab of glue. That's one of your trusses there, and of course we need to allow this to dry, and we'll go ahead and make 10 of these here, and that's kind of step one, is getting your gambrel trusses pulled together. All right, well, good luck with this process, and we'll demonstrate how to go ahead and make a wall system next.